So my relationship with Hashem is definitely becoming stronger. I guess, of course it's because of Judaism, but it's also because my walls are just coming down. My guard is not as high up as it was a few months ago. Shalom everyone, my name is S and I'm taking you on my conversion journey. So I officially kept Shomer Shabbat for the first time last week, and I wanted to talk about it since it's my first time spending all this time with my sponsoring family, and I got to experience the whole thing. And as a convert, there were some things that I noticed, and I wanted to share it with you guys. But first things first, if you aren't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and make sure you are subscribed, and don't forget to sign up for my Patreon, where I release videos every week, I think now, in addition to what I do on YouTube. So if you want to be a part of this journey, don't forget to sign up. And also follow me on Instagram. I know I still haven't posted yet, but it's going to happen soon. And can't wait to build up my community with you guys, because this is for you and me and all of us. So let's get into today's video. So keeping Shomer Shabbat means I basically did the whole thing. I had 3 meals. So for those of you who don't know, in Shabbat, when keeping Shabbat, you have 3 meals. Friday night, Saturday lunchtime-ish, and right before Shabbat ends. And usually, because I've had difficulties with my schedule and everything, now that things are settled, I can now fully keep it. But as a convert, I have to break it just a little bit, since I'm not officially Jewish yet. So I was a little afraid to spend this much time with the family. One, because I have some trouble spending this much time with my own family. So I was curious to see how I would feel, being in someone else's home for this amount of time. 25 hours is a long time, especially without being on my phone, without, breaking the 39 prohibited creation acts. And just, did I say 59 or 39? I hope I said 39. And just being this observant. This is the most observant I have been on my journey. Usually I am on my phone. Usually I'm driving, I have to leave early, but now I didn't. I had my own room, a place to stay, and was engaging with the family. So I want to take you guys through the steps. So before Shabbat started, I'm helping them prepare the house for Shabbat, whether it's cooking, cleaning, setting the table, basically making sure turning on my Shabbat light, and just making sure everything's set. And one thing I realized was how precious those 18 minutes are right before Shabbat starts, because everyone's just going crazy and trying to make sure everything's prepared, because you do not want to break it. And to them, you could clearly see that this means everything to them, because once Shabbat is here, everything just settles down, and everyone's just really focusing on the family, how everyone's doing, and they're just completely disconnected from the outside world. I thought that was interesting to see, because while we're all bickering and trying to figure out where's this, where's that, and once we light these candles, we're just here to welcome the Shabbat Queen. And I thought that was a precious thing to see. And lighting candles for me for a while was just kind of me rehearsing and just lighting my candles, saying the blessing, and just kind of just going with the flow and to learn what I'm supposed to be doing. But for some reason that night, that Shabbat last week was probably the first time that I lit my candles and I was actually immersed in the moment and just kind of sat there and like said my own thankful blessing or a prayer over the candles. And it meant a lot to me to be able to be present in that moment. We say Kiddush, we do Hamotzi, and then the meal begins. And it's almost like just having a normal dinner with anyone else. We're talking about our day, we're talking about how we spend our week, political conversations, anything, nothing is off limits here. And it ends up being a great night. And we ended up talking the entire night. I was not thinking about anything else other than the people in front of me. And I see like why Jewish families are just so strong and why they're so like well bonded and why the families are just so connected to each other. Because it's very hard to be present in the moment once, like, if you have your phone out, if you're worried about everything else going on in the world. So to be able to sit and have conversations for that amount of time really was special to me. So I thank them for allowing me into their home and spending that much time with me, because I don't know, it's great to be a part of like that Shabbat experience. So when we were wrapping the night up and I was getting tired, I went to my room, went to sleep, and woke up getting ready to go to shul. And I did Netilat Yadayim and washed my hands, said my Modeh and walked into the room, had a few little fruits for breakfast. And one of my favorite moments is walking to shul. And I wasn't a fan like growing up going on walks. I did that sometimes with my family, with my parents when I was younger. Like we would walk to like the dollar store. My parents still go on walks to this day. But this walk, it's about a 25 minute walk. And the whole entire time we're just like making conversation, talking about certain things with Judaism, any questions that I had, she would answer. And I'm talking about my sponsoring family's wife. I usually walk with her, and from both families. And to just have somebody give you that kind of attention and retain that much conversation, and I don't know, just being present in the moment. I've never experienced it any other way like I do when I am at the Shabbat table and walking to shul. So going to shul is like a regular thing for me now. I don't feel as misplaced as I did in my first time going. I don't feel like people are looking at me anymore or questioning why I'm there. And I'm starting to pay attention more to the services, reading the Siddur, actually paying attention to it and being present in the moment. This whole video is just about being present. So when we got to shul, I learned another thing. I learned there was a man there who just turned 83. And apparently in Jewish culture, 70 is considered like a full life. And once you turn 83, you have your second bar mitzvah. And there was a man there who was celebrating his 83rd birthday, and I got to experience that. And there were a bunch of Torah readings and special things dedicated to him. And I was just sitting there wow, this is magnificent. I love this. I love the idea of, just the appreciation of life altogether. And I'm very big on that. I try my best to live in the moment and notice like almost everything that goes on in my life, and most of all, to take responsibility and to give thanks. So when I reach the age of 70, I'll be entering, I guess, the second round of my life, and just being appreciative that a lot of people don't even make it that far. So being in shul, every time I go to shul, I notice like a bit more confidence in myself and more understanding, more connection, and a sense of belonging too. So my relationship with Hashem is definitely becoming stronger. I guess, of course it's because of Judaism, but it's also because my walls are just coming down. My guard is like not as like high up as it was a few months ago. And I guess it doesn't feel like I'm faking it anymore. It feels real. And I guess it's also because I truly believe in Judaism and the teachings of the Torah. So now service ended and we were walking back to shul, and again, one of my favorite moments. And I asked her about the mikvah. And I know that, like, to conclude my entire conversion, I'll be immersing in the mikvah. And it just shot chills down my spine that one day I'll be in that, and like that's going to be the completion of my conversion. And I could just, I'm very happy that I'm documenting all of this, because I can't wait to look back and just to see how far I've come, and to know that, I'll be dedicating my life to living this way, for the rest of my life. And most people will cringe at that. Most people will be scared of that, but I'm not scared of it. I'm excited for it. I welcome it. And I think that things are exceptional and very special for me because I get to choose Judaism. Not that there's a whole bunch of advantages when you are born Jewish, but when you get to choose to be Jewish, it's the amount of meaning it is to you, and the significance it brings to your life is on a whole other spectrum. I got to walk through life and experience life in many different shoes, as a non-believer, as someone who is lost, as a Christian woman, as an atheist. At one point I was an atheist, so to know that I am completely sure about this, and to be confident in my decision, and to choose this life, and to get to the point when I dip into that mikvah, is going to be one of the greatest moments in my life. That's what I was thinking about walking back to prepare for the second meal. So the second meal was quite interesting. We had so much food. This family loves to cook and I love it. They have so much food, and we were all just like eating, again, making wonderful conversation. I've never experienced a full second meal like this. Well, actually ever. So, we say the blessing on the challah, and there's a lot of wine, and which I don't mind. I am a huge wine drinker. And what was different was we were all kind of like, it was like chill vibes almost. I don't know what to really make of it, but it was more about just starting the day with each other and just embracing each other's company. So once that was over, I sat and I was speaking to the Father about a lot of things, because he is also a convert. And don't say his, but he's my favorite. Just the fact that I'm connecting with somebody who was coming from kind of like the same position as I am, even though he was already married with 3 kids. His wife is already Jewish, so things were a bit different, and he is more religious than the rest of them, and which I find like, that's I admire that so much about him. And we sat and we had conversations about Jesus, which I normally don't have I haven't had much with anyone else. But to find somebody who knows like the Christian Bible and talk about like the things that we no longer believe in, to be able to have those conversations with someone kind of is almost like a security blanket for me, because we were taught similar things growing up, and to no longer believe it, to be the one to go against the family, and we now make our families like an interfaith family. It takes a brave soul to do that. So I relate to him on many levels. And I had asked him, I was like, when does the like weirdness of all of this stop? The weirdness from like people just like questioning why you're doing this, or why are you becoming a Jew? When does that stop? And he said it doesn't. He's been Jewish for the past 10 years and was practicing even before that. And he said people still, Jewish and non-Jew, still give him crap for, converting to Judaism. And I was just like, whew. Even though that's not the greatest news, it still was a bit of a relief to know that even though he is facing all this backlash still, he is still committed to his word, still committed to his conversion and his belief. And nothing but respect to this man. So we're getting into the third meal. After, we spent basically the whole afternoon like chatting and talking, we get into doing the final blessing, the final meal, which was very light, but it was very special. I've never seen anything like this. And we had the Havdalah candle, and to basically close Shabbat. Seeing this, I was just like, whoa, this is like some Kabbalah type, like, candle burning. I'm sniffing some like greenery. I didn't really understand it. I don't even think I knew that closing Shabbat was so significant, because I don't know a lot of people who do that. And this is why I'm so grateful for this family, because they are very observant. And I understand how hard it is to be this observant all the time. Every week you're doing this. So to see that and to close Shabbat was, I don't know, I felt like I'm starting my week as like a fresh start, to start my week positive, to have this spiritual energy to bring me out through the next 6 days until Shabbat starts again. And Shabbat is honestly one of my favorite things that I've learned so far in my Jewish conversion. And to look forward to this every week, it just makes me excited. It makes me excited to know that one day I'll be doing this with my own family. So closing Shabbat was probably the most important, even though it wasn't about the food. It was just about, we all started this together and we all are finishing it together. And overall, this whole entire Shomer Shabbat, even though I was afraid to do it, I thought I was gonna mess up. I thought what am I gonna talk to these people about? And everything just flowed and everything made sense. And as a convert, like, there are things that I'm learning that I would never be learning in a book. You know, to see these things in action is a totally different experience. So I want to wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom. And if you, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your Shabbat, but if you haven't like kept Shabbat fully for a while or never did, I would suggest just doing it this one time and just really immersing yourself in the people that matter the most to you, because we know that tomorrow isn't promised, but we also know that Shabbat does change us, and it does prepare us to have a wonderful 6 days ahead till the next Shabbat. So Shabbat Shalom to you and your family, and I'll see you in the next video.